Section 4.1, homework number 1. You're supposed to do part A and part C, and I'm going to do part B to show you an example. So part B says there are 5,280 feet in a mile. How long in feet is a 4-mile long stretch of road? So we will need to convert from these two different units from miles to feet. So we can I think a lot of us probably already know we should do multiplication. So we take 4 times 5,280. But in order to help our students to do the question, like why it is multiplication, not addition or division, and we could use the definition. So pay attention to the instruction of this question. It says use the section's definition of multiplication to explain why this problem can be solved by multiplication. So instead of telling students, okay, this is multiplication, you have to do multiplication, we can explain to them. And so the definition is the first number. So just recall the definition here. Whenever we have multiplication, the first number means the number of groups. The second number tells us how many usually in units, how many something objects. I'm just going to use units in one group. So there are always two things involved. Just imagine that there are a few groups of people. Every group has this many people. So this kind of problem can be solved by multiplication. So we're going to explain using that. So again, we can consider 4 miles as 4 groups. So 1 mile is 1 group. 4 miles, we have 4 groups. So 4 groups. And the other number, 5,280, is considered as how many in one group. So it's 5,280 in each group. So that's why this problem can be solved by multiplication. If students still have trouble understanding this, you can even use math drawing to help them. So you can draw a strip diagram. So this is, let's say, 1 mile. And that is equal to 5,280 feet. And then you have, because we have 4 miles, so you're going to draw another 1 mile, another 1 mile. It looks like I'm out of space, so you can draw another 1 mile. So each of them is 5 to 80, 5 to 80, 5 to 80. So altogether, we have 4 of them. So you can see it's 4 groups of 5,280. So that's why we do multiplication. Again, if you want to do addition, it's fine, but it's going to be 5 to 80 plus 5 to 80 plus 5 to 80 plus 5 to 80. And that's just a lot of work. It's much quicker if we just do multiplication times 4 or 4 times. But for this problem, and they did not ask us to use the drawing, so you don't have to do this. But you can always use that to help your students. Okay, so that's how you do. So make sure you, in your answer, when you answer the question, I guess the first sentence, if you don't want to say it, it's fine because it's technically it's already in this in the second sentence. 4 miles means 4 groups. 5,280, it's that many in each group. Okay, now let's look at number 2. So write a array word problem. So we need to write a word problem for students to solve. And this word problem can be solved by 6 times 8. And so that's the first part. The second part, we need to explain clearly why the problem can be solved by multiplication. So it's very similar to number 1. Besides, we have to come up with a word problem ourselves. And also you have to explain, using the definition of multiplication, why this problem can be solved by multiplication, not addition or division. And so let's see, the word problem, again, array problem just looks like array, rows and columns. So the example I have is a kindergarten classroom has 4 equal rows, where 6 cubies in a row. and how many cubies are there. So we can solve this problem by doing multiplication. It's going to be 4. Well, actually, I guess my problem is 4 times 6. I mean, technically, you could just replace the numbers using my word problem, but you can also come up with your own problems. And second, so first you write down the word problem. Secondly, you have to use the explanation to say why this is 4 times 6, not 4 plus 6. So we could explain this way: 4 rows, each row is a group. So you can say 4 rows is 4 groups. And every group has, every row or every group has 6 objects, 6 copies. So there are 4 groups of 6 copies together. Again, you could even draw the group and draw the picture. So you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then you have 4 rows. So that's a group, and then you have second. Sorry, the drawing is not really good. So that's second, and the third, and the fourth. So each row has 6, 6, 6. So you have 4 sixes. Okay. So word problem and then drawing. Now number 3, I'm sorry, not the drawing, word problem and the explanation. You could use the drawing, but you don't have to because they didn't ask for drawing. Now next, write a order pair word problem for 6 times 8. So in this case, order pair, you have to pick two, anything like sandwich or outfit, and that consists of 2 different things. Or pizza could have 2 different toppings. Okay, so let's look at the word problem. Again, I use 4 times 6, and you have to do 4 times 8, 6 times 8. So first is the word problem. A couple that just had a baby has 4 first names chosen out and 6 middle names. So again, because the last name is fixed and we don't really have options, but the first name and middle name can be chosen. So again, this is kind of like bread, cheese to make a sandwich, or shirt and pants to make an outfit. So here we have first name and middle names to make a name. So if in this case, 4 first names, 6 middle names, so we do 4 times 6. Again, to help students understand why it's 4 times 6, not 4 plus 6, we could explain this way. Because each first name gives us first element of the order pair, and each middle name gives us the second element. And if this still confuses students, you can draw a picture. So for example, first name, I guess, because I'm just going to call first name 1, first name 2, first name 3, first name 4. And middle name, I'm just going to call it a middle name 1, middle name 2, middle name 3, middle name 4, middle name 5, and middle name 6. So that way we can create a chart and then explain this way. Okay, so we pick first name. So we can come up with, I have trouble with the pen. M1, well, actually first name. So let's say we pick the first name F1, and then we can pick M1. That makes an order pair. So that's what we are saying here. The first name will become the first element, and the middle name will become the second element, because every name has 2 elements. And then you can also pick F1, M2, and F1, M3, and F1, M4, and F1, M5, and F1, M6. And continue doing this, and we will have a list of 4 rows because we have 4 first names. Because I only listed the combinations for the first, choosing the first name, and then different middle names. But if we choose the second, let's say F2 and M1, and we have another 6 options. And we could choose F3, another 6 options, and choose F4, another 6 options. So you can see we have 4 rows. Each row has 6, so that's 4 times 6.